Hey, welcome to the Drep and Stone podcast, the podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle!
Hey, Nick.
Excuse me. It's fall.
Is it? Technically.
I mean,
according to the calendar.
The first day of the autumnal season started a couple of weeks ago at this point. Or
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, no, a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
We hit the equinox.
Correct. Yeah. I can tell you where it's not fall.
Yeah, me too. It's right here.
It's correct. Yeah. I think we say this every year around this time. It's fall.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the marketing tells us. It's just not.
Well, that's not entirely true. They were telling us it was fall back in July.
Yeah.
I walked into the local hardware store. I saw what was going on there.
Yeah.
And now there's Christmas out.
Yeah,
I'm very confused with seasons.
It's very hot here still.
There's
correct. Really not a difference.
No.
It still feels like July out there.
There was a day a couple weeks ago that I was like, I was out in the morning and it was it wasn't cold, but it wasn't hell.
Right. It was comfortable.
I don't even know if I could go that far. It wasn't hell.
Was breathable.
Yeah. I think there was a slight breeze and I felt okay.
It was okay.
It was okay.
That's
yeah.
the best you
I
can
was still sweating, but I felt fine in my sweat.
Yeah.
But welcome to fall, everybody.
Yeah, we're officially in October now.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
certainly by the time this episode comes out.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Actually,
second of the Burr months.
It's
the spookiest of the Burr months.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Unless of course you're into the Christmas ghost stuff. Then that could be a spooky Burr month.
Yeah.
Or Krampus. That could also be a spooky Burr month.
Yeah. Never really got into Krampus.
Yeah, no, me neither. But I can agree with you. I think this is the spookiest of the Burrs.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. When I get into the Burr months,
right,
it screams
pumpkin spice latte. Oh, beer.
Well, everything screams pumpkin spice latte. Correct.
True.
I have not. Have you had a pumpkin spice latte?
No.
No, I
haven't. Honestly, I don't know if. I mean, I know I've tried one.
Right.
I don't know that I've actually ever purchased a pumpkin spice latte.
Well, I mean, we did a social media thing a couple, I think, years ago at this point.
Yeah.
About me trying pumpkin spice latte, and every year I feel like I have to have one.
Yeah. Have you done it?
No.
No, not yet.
No, because it's not fall. I mean, officially it's fall, but it's not.
I mean, can you get them in February when we have our fall?
Could probably ask. They probably
y'all still got some of that back here?
Give me 2 posts about PSL.
Throw me one together right quick.
I mean, someone's got to have some cinnamon tucked away somewhere. It'll probably be all right.
Yeah.
But no, what the autumnal season screams to me is delicious beers.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you can have beer whenever, it doesn't matter. I'm not the kind of the Baltic Imperial Porter in the summer. It's well documented that my dad is.
Yeah.
But there are beers, this time period for me screams Oktoberfest. It screams these kind of malty beers. And I know. We've got some beers in front of us.
We're here for it.
Yeah.
How many Oktoberfests have you had at this point in time? Different varieties. Give me a ballpark.
I'm gonna say 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 6.
Yeah, I think I've had 4.
Yeah.
At this point, and it's just the best time of year.
Yeah.
Man, you got a Oktoberfest. I'm trying it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Going for it.
We're actually, as this episode releases, we're planning a trip. We've been invited somewhere, and we're going to try a bunch of different beers, and
an Oktoberfest or two.
I'm looking forward to several Oktoberfests.
Heck yeah,
because
Festivi.
I'm going to say
Festivises.
Oh, there it is. I'm going to say the Oktoberfest or fest beer in general is definitely my favorite beer style.
Yeah, agreed.
That malty, not super dark, not a brown ale, but that malty nature beer.
Yep.
It's just
delightful.
It's the time of the year, man.
Yeah, a little heft to it.
Yeah, little good little body.
Yeah.
Good body.
Been hitting the gym.
Exactly. It's toned.
bulking out.
It's bulking and toned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing that dirty bulk. That's the porters. That's the dirty bulk.
Give me that sugar.
Yeah, we got some beer here.
I like it.
It's not an Oktoberfest.
That's okay.
But it is still beer.
What do you got?
Let's preface this with a little storytelling.
Okay.
Because we're going back to vacation land.
Okay.
Eventually, at some point in time, we're going to get through all our vacation
bottles
and stories and stuff, and we'll stop talking about it. But
maybe
today's not that day.
Yeah, pants on or off?
We'll leave them on for now.
Okay. Just checking.
We'll see how this progresses. You discovered this brewery.
I did, yeah.
Tell me about that. How did you do that?
Carol and I were in Rome
This is 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
Two great vacations ago.
Yeah, Carol and I were in Rome. We were in Rome almost a week before you guys got to Rome.
Yeah.
Give or take a couple days. And we, when in Rome, you drink wine.
Right.
And at some point, we were like, I could just go for a beer. So, of course, breweries in Rome. And there are actually a fair number of breweries in Rome.
Right.
But there's only one, at least at that time. There might be more now. There's only one that was technically in downtown,
like in the historical
center. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Baladin.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's actually brewed in the historical area. I know
it's
it's
actually brewery in that building.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know if there's a brewery in that building. That building smelled like there was a brewery in that building.
Yeah,
in the basement area. Yeah. But I know that they are definitely an Italian beer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so we went and sampled a bunch of things, and I was like, oh, this is great. Their beer is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect it because you're in Italy.
Yeah, it's not it's not the MO.
No, everyone's drinking wines, or they're drinking like delicious Peronis or things like that. So this was something that we tried, and then when you got to Rome, I was like, dude, we got to go here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
you'd already kind of built it up and said, hey, we got to go check this out. And got over there, and it did not disappoint.
Yeah.
Like, I had probably 5 or 6 different beers there.
Yeah.
They had a pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
I know.
I mean, it was just a great experience. It's slowly becoming more spread out. Like I've seen it here a couple of times in America now.
Yeah, availability is definitely up.
Yeah, they're spreading around. And so this past summer, we were in London finishing up our trip, and we were in Camden Town at Camden Market. And we were looking for a place. Like, we'd actually gone over there specifically to go do this like Instagram kind of a thing, like these French fries that were super viral.
Yep.
And we got over there, and I mean, no joke, like it's like a 3-hour line to get
for fries,
some French fries. Yeah, some like loaded fries.
And in England.
Yes.
Yeah, like they've got good fries in England.
Yeah.
Or chips.
Yeah, crazy chips or something like that.
But
like
I ain't waiting a 3-hour line for chips.
No, like we were like Google mapping our way around, like trying to find the stall. Because it's a market,
sure.
So it's not like in a building. Finally found the thing, and we were like, yes! And then we like kind of like turn around and see the line, and it's like not too bad.
Right.
But then we realized, oh, that's the break in the line, and it connects over there, and it goes on for like a mile.
Yeah.
We were like, no way! Like, we're actually hungry now, not from 2 hours from now.
Right.
So we're like, okay, so that didn't work out. Let's try to find another option. We go around a corner, and there is a Baladin beer brewery right there in Camden Market.
A legit establishment.
Yeah, like and an actual brewery.
Nice.
Like, actually like doing the
tanks
thing.
In there and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
legit. And so it's Italian. My whole family is Italian
Dressed as
except
Mario.
for me. Yeah.
Wow. Right. No, yeah, they're Italian except for you.
Yeah, everybody. My wife is 100% Italian. So my kids are 50% Italian. No, I'm 0%. I have nothing.
Okay, I see how that works.
So
I took biology.
Yeah. So we were said, yeah, absolutely. Let's give this a shot. Certainly, kids can have some pasta. I'll have some great beer because we've done the thing. My wife remembered it, and she's like, yeah, let's do that. So we get in there. I start striking up a conversation with one of the lads behind the counter there.
Was he Italian or was he?
No, English? He was very English.
Oh, not just English, very.
Yeah,
English.
No, he was English.
Okay.
Super nice guy. Yeah. Like we started up a conversation because they've got all these really cool like fancy bottles up front there, and so I'm just kind of like nosing around trying to figure out what they are. And so he starts telling me about all of these special bottles, how they're all barrel aged and different things, and they all have each individual kind of story behind them and all this stuff. Super fascinating. And he's like popping them and letting me try every single one of them. Like whatever I wanted to try, he was happy to let me have some. And it was a really cool story. Like he was telling me how he got into the company was he signed on and got to go do like a 2-week venture over in Italy where the actual main brewery is.
Yeah.
The story of the family where they were originally wine growers, winemakers. That's what the owner of the company, his father owned a vineyard.
Yeah.
He was just around it all of his life to the point where he just kind of got bored with it and wanted to do something different. So he started a brewery and started making beer. And it was just such a cool story of like how he got to go over there and learn all of that and see the site and spend 2 weeks learning the culture of the brewery. And so I was just like, I mean, by this point I had already had like a couple of pints. I was feeling really good. And he totally sold me on a bottle that is taking their their basic beer, which we've got a bottle here.
Okay.
Their base beer.
Their Birra Nazionale.
Yeah, and they take that beer and then age it in a barrel.
Ooh.
For some time. Not sure how long. But I got to try them all that day, and they were all, each one was so different and so unique. Like, I would have loved to have bought all of them.
Yeah.
But this one like really kind of stood out to me. And I've been dying for us to do it here on the podcast.
I'm surprised you waited this long, because like you told me some of that story when we got back, or when you got back, and I'm surprised you've waited.
Well, time to wait is over.
Yes,
we're gonna do it.
Okay, great. So we start with the Nazionale.
Yeah, let's try the basic. Just their normal beer.
Okay,
100% Italian,
of course, which you are not. This beer
I am not. No, this beer is. I'd read you the bottle words, but they're all in Italian.
I can read it to you. Mamma mia, mamma mia. Dude, it's in English too. Yeah. It's a 6.5% alcohol. It's called a strong beer. It's also in German as well, by the way. The ingredients are water, Italian barley, malt from our fields, Italian hops. Wow, that's kind of cool. Spices, citrus zest, sugar, and yeast. You want me to open it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pop it. Well done.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we've got the Birra Nazionale.
Yep.
We're going to try that, but you also have another bottle.
Yeah. I also bought the
Xyauyu.
which is taking the same beer and then aging it in a barrel.
Sure.
Of some sort.
Yeah, I think it was oak. We were reading it in mostly Italian.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a minute since I had this explained to me what it was specifically, but I know in all of their different barrel aged expressions, they all had a very unique, different thing.
Right.
Some were Scotch barrels,
right?
Like smoky Scotch barrels. Sadly, they was not as interesting.
Yeah.
They had one that was from a soy sauce
yeah.
barrel that was incredible. They were all really unique and so different. Like I said, I would have loved to have bought the whole thing, but they were pricey bottles, so I didn't. I got one. And it's this one.
And so this comes from the brewmaster at the time. I don't know if he's still the brewmaster. His last name is Teo. And he thought of this idea of like, what happens if we take the Nazionale and then age it?
Yeah.
So this was barreled and aged in 2016.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was bottled in 2016. I don't know how long it was aged necessarily.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's been like, this is an old beer. That's fantastic. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Like, because when you think about beer, most people drink beer fresh, but beer can be aged just like a fine wine can be aged. So I'm super excited.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get in it.
Yeah, let's do it. You need a corkscrew? Careful.
This first cork
beer?
Like,
yeah.
Definitely first cork beer, but like, I don't even think, have we opened a bottle of wine?
No.
First hand pulled cork.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no cork pop.
Oh, no, that was right there. You hear it?
Oh, yeah. No. You know why?
No carbonation.
There's no carbonation.
There's nothing to
make theoretically, but you would think like there's no carbonation in whiskey. You would think there's a little bit of a cork, or there's always a cork pop in whiskey. It is 15.5% ABV. Oh, we're pouring in the Glencairns.
Yeah, because you don't chug this. Like, you don't drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it even comes with like a little cork that you can reseal it.
Yeah.
You know, keep it for a bit. Not something you're gonna polish off the bottle.
That's thick. Oh my god! Wow. That is some thick juice, man. Wow. All right, so we're going to go Birra Nazionale first?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is their, like I said, like their just basic beer.
Yeah.
It's
golden. Whew. It's got some fermentation on it, for sure.
Yeah, a little cloudy.
Yeah, a little cloudy. When I say it got some fermentation, of course it's got fermentation. I meant carbonation.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Ooh.
A lot of citrus.
Definitely citrus.
Some malt.
And it's like really bright, fresh malt. It's not an Oktoberfest kind of beer that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that perfumey malt.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. It's like bright sugar malt, not like developed sugar malt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little potpourri.
Yeah, not toasted. All right. I'm going in.
Sipsy.
Man, what I love about this beer,
yep,
and the several that I've had, is that you get this like beautiful sweetness right away.
Right.
That is like then complemented by a wonderful bitter.
Yep.
And it's a 1-2 punch. It's not like you get one and then trailing as a bitter. It's like you get the sweet right away and then like boom, there's a bitter right with it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it's that perfumey malt
mm-hmm.
that it's louder on the nose than it is on the palate, but it's still there.
Sure.
It still comes through.
Sure.
And not in an overwhelming, like you're drinking perfume kind of a way. It's like this lovely little note that just kind of rides with the bitter.
For sure.
Comes through. It's a great beer.
It's a fantastic beer. You know what's great about it too is you can get it in like the Rome airport.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I
was trying to think what the other one was. There was two that you could find everywhere.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I feel like it starts with an S, but I can't remember. Just can't beat it. And
No.
like, I mean, I'm a huge Peroni front runner.
Right.
Like I love me some Peroni. Homer for them all day. But I've got a special place in my heart now for this beer specifically.
Yeah, definitely. It takes like what Peroni is, like that just super crisp, easygoing beer, and it adds just a little body.
Yep. A little bit of depth.
It adds a little bit of depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not, I'm going to say this is not as easy drinking as a Peroni is. It's not as crushable, but it's still there.
Yeah. To me, I think this beer, the Nazionale, pairs better with food because it's just got more layers to it.
Agreed, completely.
So like I would rather have that with my meal, whereas like Peroni, Moretti, those lighter, crushable, chuggable beers are just better for like you're out in the sun.
Exactly.
And on a hot Roman day.
Or I'd
like,
even have like, oh yeah, for sure.
Or you're out on the water.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I want there.
Yeah.
This with more complexity and things like that, like that's what I want to pair my meal with.
Yeah, I would rather the Peroni or the Moretti to like wake up my palate. So like give me that as a like with my appetizer.
Right.
But give me this with my actual meal.
Yeah.
And oh yeah. And I can tell you, it complements really well with an Italian cheeseburger.
There you go. Some of that Italian aged beef.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and that was a cool little spot too.
Oh man, it was so fun.
That was a great place.
And I think the best part about that too is I went 2 or 3 times when we were there.
Right.
I went.
Yeah, because you were right around the corner.
Yeah, literally, like our apartment was right around the corner.
Yeah.
We went once with you. I know Carol and I went once, and I think I went back for some reason.
To put a sticker somewhere.
Yeah, probably. That's it. But every time.
While I'm here.
Yeah, why not? Every time I was there, like there were enough Italians there where it didn't feel like a tourist thing.
Well, and it's one of those like very like because you're literally in the heart of Rome.
Yeah.
That I remember. I think we walked around the building maybe twice.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't realize that was the entrance
Right.
to the place because there's no big sign out there.
Nope.
It was just like very much like, are we sure we're going into the right thing?
Yeah.
We definitely walked by that door like 2 or 3 times before we were like, let's try this one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is it. Oh, holy shit.
Yeah. Because it's nondescript. It's
Yeah.
just
It's almost like
building.
you just kind of have to know or like
Yeah.
be with somebody that is nosy enough to go find it.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
All right. So we're moving to the what is it? The
Xyauyu?
Xyauyu. That's right. Xyauyu. Holy crap.
Yeah. That is dark. That is syrup.
That is so sweet on the nose.
Yeah. You got to assume it's going to be on the palate. Yeah, just that dark brown molasses.
It really like, I don't know if you've ever opened a jar of molasses. You ever opened a jar of molasses?
No.
It can be really bitter.
Sure.
But it's like so sweet that it's bitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we don't know what kind of barrel this is?
I'm pretty sure this one was aged in rum barrels.
That makes sense. I
know the different varieties that they had. There was one edition that was aged in rum. They had one that was aged in Scotch. They had one that was a smoked barrel. They had one that was aged in a Kentucky bourbon barrel. They had one that was aged or that was infused with an Italian cigar smoke, and then one that was in a Japanese Kyoki barrel.
Gotcha.
Which I think is the one that they used to ferment soy.
Yeah.
Soy sauce.
The rum barrel makes sense because it's got that like deep molasses note.
Right.
And it's like, it's so sweet that it becomes like bitter, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's so sweet, so rich.
Rich is
that it gets into
perfect.
that starts going towards bitter.
It's a reduction. Like you ever had like a balsamic
yeah.
reduction? Like that's exactly what this reminds me of.
Yep.
15.5, man.
All right.
Real quick, outside of the sweetness, like there are so many layers to that sweet. Like I went honey.
Right.
I went like, caramel drizzle, like a cheesecake caramel drizzle. Like
plum.
It's just, plum is perfect. Dark fruit in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Like really
My
dark
God,
cherries.
that, you know what? It's the syrup in the Luxardo cherry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. All right.
Whew.
Ready?
Yeah.
That's like honey water.
Right?
Whoa, my God.
I mean, you are overwhelmed by sweetness right off the front. Like, there's a bunch of sweet.
I'll pour that on pancakes all day.
But then there's this, like, as you move through it, the malty nature of the beer starts to come through.
Yeah.
And then towards the back end of the palate, you get this kind of savory,
Oh, yeah.
almost like not quite tart.
Umami nature.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Sour's not the right, but it's like it's going in that way.
No, I think savory is exactly, it's like savory like a steak is savory. It's like an unctuous,
yeah, not quite salty,
No,
not sour,
no.
not, but it's like it's in that realm.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a dessert that does this. Because that's what it's very desserty.
And it also it's like a tart cherry
Yeah.
that kind of starts to like push through, like this brightness of like cherry and citrus that just like pops right at the end.
Man. Oh, you said citrus. And I was like, what is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, and you're right. It's right at the end. You get cherry and then like a bink.
Yeah.
It's like it tweaks you by the nose. Like,
Yeah, just
hey,
like,
I'm
there it
here.
is.
Yeah. You cannot go into this thinking beer.
Mm-mm.
Like, yes, I know it is beer, but nothing about this says beer.
No. I mean, like, other than that, like, just right in the middle of the palate, this malty nature kind of comes forward, and it's like, that's my, like, identifier.
Correct,
Like,
yeah.
There it is. Okay, yes, this is beer.
Right.
You know? But yeah, if you're just having a sip of it, no way.
No. It reminds me of like a drambuie. It's just like, it's thick, it's sweet.
Right.
Like, it's not as herbal forward as like a drambuie or something like that, or liqueur like that.
Right.
But it's just like here's a lot. Here's a lot.
Here's you want to talk about like flavor volume?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a 12 on
Easy.
that, on that 1 to 10.
And it's so nuanced. There's so many things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool about it, I totally understand why this is not something that you're going to drink in one sitting.
Right.
This is something that they're going to give you the little coffin and like the resealable thing for cork, because even though you could crush that entire thing, first of all, you're going to be on your ass, but I don't think I'd want to.
Yeah, no. Like, I mean, it's like we had this conversation after I bought this bottle.
Yeah.
Of it made me kind of rethink like the aged stouts and things. Of
Sure.
like, I've always looked at them as like drinking a beer.
Yeah.
But that's probably not the way to go about it.
Correct.
Like, slow down.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to open that bottle, enjoy it over the next hour.
Exactly.
Slow down with it, and
Yeah.
don't think of it like drinking any other beer. Really slow down with it.
I'll tell you what the difference is. To me, it's that there's no carbonation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not afraid that this is going to become flat, because it already is flat.
Sure.
So like, I'm not going into it thinking like, man, I've got to drink this Baltic porter
Right.
that is a 15%, crusher of a porter, because eventually it will go flat.
Right.
Here, I'm like, no, that's fantastic. Like, I had my pour. Like, I can pour, but I had my pour.
Right.
And like, I'm good.
And I think that's like the thing. Like, again, I think back to like I've never had a Kentucky barrel stout that I've really enjoyed.
Right.
Because once I get about halfway through it, I'm
done.
Yeah, I'm overexposed to this.
Right.
And I think that's like the glory of this is that you can just pour a little bit.
Yep.
Relish in those flavors, enjoy it, and now I can set it aside and I can have another pour another day.
Exactly. Or like, I want that as my dessert for the night.
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
Oh,
yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. Give me a pour of that as I would a whiskey, and that's what I'm going to have this evening. And it's fantastic.
It's delightful, for sure.
What like blows my mind about this too is like, that opens up a whole nother realm of beer.
Right.
Like, I've always known that this has existed, and I've had other beers similar, but it's like, wait a second. This is not a cheap bottle.
Right.
This is not a bottle that you're going to like drink in one sitting. And if you think about it, like what you just said, if you think about it in that way, and you think about it less like a beer and more like a whiskey, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how the guy pitched it to me, of like, this is not what you're going to want to, go through a whole bottle of in a sitting.
Yeah.
This is something that you save it over time. You break it out when you're in the mood for it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
How does it like compare to like a Utopias? Same ballpark?
Very similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very similar. And hopefully, as this episode releases in the next couple of days or so, you're going to get to try Utopias.
Yeah.
And it'd be kind of cool. I'm really interested to see like you compare those things.
Right.
Because, yeah, very similar. Utopias is definitely higher ABV and is way more whiskey
Right.
than this is 15. I think Utopias is like
In the 20s.
in the 20s, maybe 30s.
Right.
I can't remember exactly where. So it's definitely higher, but it drinks very similarly.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I wish you could have been there that day. Like, they were so different. Each one was so different and unique.
That's
like,
cool. Yeah.
not like, like you'd expect, like, you sit down and you have like 4 different varieties of a whiskey brand.
Yeah.
And it's like you can see how they're all connected.
Sure.
You can get that connective tissue and see like, oh yeah, like these are all, different varieties of the same thing. These were so different. Each one was
cool.
so dramatically different and brought forward different flavor notes and stuff that it was such a cool experience.
Yeah.
And like and it's one of those great things about a vacation is that you find this really cool thing that you weren't even looking for, and it made like a huge impact on your vacation. That was it.
What I love about this kind of thing is the new experience that vacation offered, and then being able to share that and now compare it also to the things that we've done and the information that we already have. You know what? Thanks, man, for saving this.
Yeah.
Because like I know you've wanted to get to it.
Yeah.
Because that's such a cool experience.
Well, I mean, just because the brand was something that like you introduced it to me, and it was like such a cool thing to find in Rome. When I had it there, I was like, dude, I've got to bring one of these back.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted one, and they didn't have any more of it. Like he had opened the last one. This was my second favorite, and I was like, yeah, give me one of those. It was it's such a fun
so
bottle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good on you, Baladin. And I know that there's a sticker in Rome. And if anyone visits Baladin and they find the Drep & Stone sticker, take a picture of it and tag us, and we'll send you something super cool.
Yeah, I'm going to tag, like, they were very specific about, make sure you follow this Baladin, like the Camden Market Baladin on Instagram. So I'll make sure, like, I tag them in
oh, definitely,
in some images and stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, fucking great.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah. On that note, you got anything else?
Nah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Excuse you, sir.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. I don't know about pretty good.
Yeah.
We'd love to know, what is your experience with beers that actually drink more like whiskeys?
Yeah. Or like, what's your interesting beer experience
yeah.
that kind of like changed the way you thought about beer?
Yeah. Or is there a beer like an Imperial Stout or a Baltic Porter kind of beer that you highly recommend?
Yeah, for sure.
Because this kind of opens my frame of reference to, okay, there's some possibility here.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I going to drink it in 90-degree weather? Probably not. No, probably not. I'd try it for sure.
Yeah.
We'd also love to know if you've had Baladin, what you think of their beers.
Yeah, I haven't had a bad one.
No,
they're so good.
They're so good.
If you haven't had it yet and you see one, you're at an Italian restaurant somewhere and you see it on the menu,
buy it.
Yeah, go ahead and get that one.
Yeah, you treat yourself.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, you can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
On the social medias, it's one word, DREP and Stone. Come find us where you're socializing that media, and I guarantee you we've got some socialized there also.
Definitely. Drop us a line, a question, whatever you want, and we'll get back to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, Kyle, we forgot to mention a couple of things.
What's that?
We'd love it if everyone would support Drep & Stone.
Yeah, easy enough.
Super easy. We already mentioned social media. You can rate Drep & Stone wherever it is you get a great podcast like this one.
Yep.
And you can support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/DrepandStone.
Easy enough.
On that note.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Cheers, buddy.
That was a beer goblet and Glencairn cheers.
Nice.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy.